Good morning, Sentinel Schools and viewers at home. This is our first home edition of the Channel 4.5 News Team. I am Trey Davis, your anchorman.
And I'm Sam Simpson, your co-anchor.
This week we're going to be doing a special over veterans because they are special people to us.
We're honored to have the veterans of Sentinel explain to us what Veterans Day means to them.
When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are as true today as they were then.
My name is Mike Hopkins. I was in the United States Army. I served in the 10th Armored Division in France and Germany, Belgium, Luxembourg. I was wounded in 5 more days. It would be 61 years ago. Our tank got knocked out. I was taken to a field hospital in France and operated on, and later flown to a general hospital in England, Manchester, England. Stayed in there about 60-something days after we arrived. Went back to Germany and wound up back in France with the engineer company there. We left there on the first day of July 1945. I was with the engineer unit there. We're supposed to go straight to Pacific, but that unit was one of the first ones over there, so they got to come by the United States for 30-day leaves. The day before my 30-day leave was over, Japan folded up. And I was real glad because I really didn't think I was going to go to Pacific, but I might have had to. Anyway, I was discharged in November of that year. The Veterans Day, they used to call it Armistice Day. It means a lot to me. For several reasons, because I think of the freedom that we have, and I know how proud that those soldiers as well as their families were when Veterans Day or Armistice Day was declared. One little other note, my daddy was born on the 11th of November. I have a double niece that was born on the 11th of November, and I have a great-granddaughter that was born on the 11th of November, so that's special to me.
Throughout this nation's history, American soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors.
My name is Ralph Freeman. I served in Germany during the war. I was placed in the 1st Infantry Division. It was about last few days of the Bulge, Belgium Bulge, and we went across Germany. Probably the hardest time we had while I was in that unit was around the Rhine River. That's the worst spot that I had. I ended up in Czechoslovakia, met the Russians, war over. The day the war was over, we liberated a prisoner of war camp, about a couple hundred people there, and that they were starving to death. Probably the worst day that I ever saw was when we lost, in my platoon, lost 2 men in one day. The best day, when I was parked out in the channel, and saw the Statue of Liberty.
We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more than 650,000 American service members who died in battle, or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank the 25 million veterans still living today.
My name's George Nason. and I served during the Korean War. Went in November the 10th, 1952, and got out in 54. I think probably one of the big highlights of my term was whenever we all fell out, had us fall out. Our orders were cut to go to Korea. They had us count off 1, 2, and I happened to be in the bunch then that went to Germany because they thought the Russians was going to help the Koreans out at that time. We went over and pulled border patrol. The next highlight was the day I got out.
These words were inscribed on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met.
When I was in the United States Air Force, I never went overseas, but I'm so proud of these guys that did. That's what Armistice Day and Veterans Day is really all about.
Those words apply equally to many of our World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, and Gulf War veterans as well. They apply to today's active duty service members, tomorrow's veterans, who are helping to maintain peace throughout the world.
My name is John Burns. I'm honored that I was asked to talk about Veterans Day. I spent a numerous number of years in the service. I started out with the Marine Corps. I was a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps. And then I was out for a few years, and I went in the Army Reserves and came out of First Sergeant, which is an E8. I spent tours of duty in Asia. I never got to the Mediterranean, which I wanted to. And I spent the last bit of the war in Korea. I spent 3 tours of duty in Vietnam, and I spent the tour in Desert Storm. Veterans Day means to me that the United States of America, the people, gave us Veterans Day for the simple reason that they wanted to show their appreciation for all that we've done for the United States and keep them free, etc. Also, anytime that I was in the service, I knew that sometime or another I'd be put in harm's way. And I just feel that I'm proud to be an American and free, and that's one of the reasons why I did go into service, is to keep the United States free.
Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices.
My name's Donnie Evans. I was in the Army in the 1st Battalion, 2nd Infantry, 1st Infantry Division, Vietnam. Our duty was just for a year, so we're grateful. Them in World War II, they was in for the duration. So I applaud them people.
The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget those willing to pay it.
My name is Wayne Freeman. I was in the Navy from 51 to 54. And my opinion of Veterans Day has grown more and more the older I have gotten. And the more I realize what the servicemen and what they actually did and the suffering that they went through, not only them but their families at home, went through a great sacrifice, and I appreciate all of them, and I feel honored to be with them.
Today we celebrate America's veterans for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave.
John Carter, Yeoman, First Class in the United States Navy, and Veterans Day brings back memories of my service in the Navy, which was 3 years, 10 months, and 25 days. And overseas duty, and all the jokes and things that went on during the service. And I haven't forgot anything about the reason that I was there was I was representing my country, and I wouldn't take $1 million for it, or I wouldn't do it again for $1 million. But I think that I did my part in serving my country, and I admire the young men and women that are taking my place in the service, trying to protect and do good for my country. And we're not having any terrorist attacks in our state and country because of our service boys and girls. And I think that's about all.
We wish to say thank you to our local veterans who served our country to help maintain our freedom.
Thank you, Sentinel Schools.
And thank you, viewers at home. And thank you for watching the first edition of our Channel 4.5 News Team. Tune in next time.